Hello everyone, today I want to analyze the current Hearthstone meta in standard mode and give you guys top 5 decks to hit legend. All graphs in this video are done by Vicious Syndicate and they are really doing amazing job providing all this information for us. First graph is about class and archetype distribution. Warlock is the most played class with 17.6%, followed by the Hunter with 16.9%. We can see that the Cube Hunter is the most played deck, followed by the Zoo Warlock, and then on the third place will be Odd Paladin with a 7.10%. Warrior is the least played class right now, with the only archetype being the Odd Baku deck. Second graph is about class frequency, and down here you can see which color responds to which class. Warlock dominates this class frequency graph since Boomsday project. Hunter and Druid kinda swapped places, and the Mage really dropped probably when the Mana Worm got nerfed, and the Paladin really climbed from all the way down to a midpoint. Third graph is really interesting and it shows matchup win rates. Basically, the more green the deck has, the better. Here you can clearly see which matchups are good and bad for your deck. Let's take an even Shaman for example. It's bad against the Malygos Druid, but good against the Taunt Druid. So if you are meeting a lot of the same decks, you can come here on this graph and see what counters those decks. Alright, so to the meat and potatoes now. We have 5 tier 1 decks right now and they are based on the power score here. First being Odd Paladin, followed by Even Shaman, Even Warlock, Even Paladin and Cube Hunter. We will go into details about these 5 decks now, starting with the Cube Hunter. Codes for all the decks will be linked in my comment below. And if you have anything to ask or say, feel free to leave a comment. Alright, so Cube Hunter is based on amazing dead rattle cards that Hunter has. We have Devil's Hour Egg and Spider Bomb for early game, and we have Savannah's High Mains and Katrina for the late game. It is very easy to trigger these death rattles with this deck with Play Dead and the Terror Scale Stalkers. With Katrina you can cheat out Witchwood Grizzlies or even the King Crush. Triggering Devil's Hour's Egg Dead Rattle with Play Dead early in the game is a really powerful win condition. We even have the Deathstalker Rexer, which can make amazing OP zombies, and that is the win condition by itself. This is a really powerful deck indeed, but it's not cheap. As you can see down here, its cost is 12.4k. Next deck is Even Paladin. This deck is not cheap as well, as you can see 13k dust. It has lots of legendary cards. There is Crystal Smith Kangor, there is the Glass Knight, the Greymane, obviously, yeah, Sunkeeper, Tarim, the Weapon, Valanir, and the Lich King and the Tyrion. This deck is a complete package. It has really good early game, it has amazing clearing capabilities with Wild Pyro and Equality or Consecration. Lots of buffing capabilities here as well, with Blessing of Kings, Spike-Ridged Steed, Valanir and Bone Mares. You can make even the weak minions really strong. This deck is kinda newer compared to the other 4 tier 1 decks. Next deck is Even Warlock. This deck is tier 1 the longest out of these 5 decks. You are able to draw lots of cards with the hero power and then cheat the Mountain Giant out or play Twilight Drake with lots of health. Also, Hooked River is a really important card in this deck. It will gain additional stats and taunt if your hero has less or equal to 15 health. There's also lots of other demons in the deck that all gets resurrected once you play the Gul'dan Dead Knight card. This deck has lots of healing to compensate for constantly drawing more cards and paying in health with hero power. On the second place we have even Shaman, the deck that is able to spam totems and many other small minions to cheat out the Sea Giant early. It has really amazing mid and the late game as well. There is some elemental synergy here with Earth and Might, Menacing Nimbus, Fire Elementals, Alakir and the Kalimos. Hagata is here for the powerful AoE and to get more spells because this deck has lots of minions. Deck is not cheap though, is 10.8k dust. And on the top of the pyramid we have the old Paladin deck. Interestingly enough, this deck is the cheapest out of 5. The plan here is to swarm the field with lots of cheap minions and improved hero power, then buff them with various effects. While the idea of this deck is pretty simple, it's really hard to defend yourself against this deck. There is also one Stonehill Defender here that you can use to get a late game taunt minion if the game didn't finish fast. This is the fastest deck out of 5 and it even has Leroy as the finisher. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this standard Hearthstone meta analysis. I hope it was fun and informative. Stay tuned for more Hearthstone content. Thanks for watching and see you soon.